Welcome back to the tutorial course on Android app development. In this section, we will discuss event listeners. An event listener is an interface in the View class. It contains a single callback method. The Android framework calls this method when the view, which has the listener registered, is triggered by a user interaction with an item in the UI. The event listener's interfaces include the following callback methods: onClick, onLongClick, onFocusChange, onKey, onTouch, and onCreateContextMenu. In the subsequent slides, we will review each of them. The onClick method. The onClick method is triggered on a number of events. Some of the key events are the user touching an item in the touch mode, the user focuses on an item with the navigation keys or trackball, either presses the Enter key or presses down on the trackball. The onLongClick method. The onLongClick method is also triggered on a number of events. Some of the key events are the user touches and holds the item in the touch mode. The user focuses on an item with the navigation keys or trackball and then presses and holds the Enter key or pressing down the trackball for 1 second. In the next few slides, we will look at the remaining callback methods. OnFocusChange. The OnFocusChange method when the user navigates onto or away from an item using the navigation key or trackball. OnKey. The OnKey method is triggered when a user focuses on an item and presses or releases a hardware key on a device. Let's look at the remaining callback methods. OnTouch. The onTouch method is triggered when a user performs an action qualified as a touch event, including a press, a release, or any movement gesture on the screen. These actions must be within the bounds of the item. OnCreateContextMenu. The OnCreateContextMenu method is triggered when a context menu is being built as a result of a sustained long click. Here you can see the sample code showing the event listener example. If you look into the image, you can see that we have created an onClickListener object and implemented the onClickListener method. In the bottom, we have implemented the onCreate method of an activity. We have created a button object that registered the onClickListener for that button. We will register the button click event with the onClickListener object created above. So whenever we tap the button, we will get that click event inside the onClick method of the listener and we can implement our code there. Now we will show you another way of implementing the onClick listener. In the previous slide, we created an onClick listener object and registered that listener to the UI element. In the previous case, the UI element was a button. Here, we have created a button object and registered the click listener with the current class object. That means this object. The Android OS will force us to implement the onClick method. We will get the click event inside this onClick method. Similarly, we can implement other event listeners for UI elements. We will show this implementation in detail in the upcoming sections. This brings us to the end of our discussion on event listeners.